A thread is a single sequential separate flow of control within the program. Sometimes it is called as an execution context or lightweight process. Multi-threading is a conceptual programming concept where a program, that is process, is divided into two or more subprograms which can be implemented at the same time in parallel. A multi-threaded program contains two or more parts that can run concurrently. Each part of such a program is called a thread, and each thread which defines a separate path of execution. Multitasking. Executing several tasks simultaneously is called multitasking. There are two types of multitasking: process-based multitasking, thread-based multitasking. In process-based multitasking, executing various jobs together, where each job is separated independent operation, is called process-based multitasking. In thread-based multitasking, executing several tasks simultaneously, where each task is separate independent part of the same program, is called thread-based multitasking, and each independent part is called thread. It is the best suitable for the programmatic and level. The main goal of multitasking is to make or do a better performance of the system by reducing the response time. Multi-threading versus multitasking. Multi-threading is to execute multiple threads in a process and concurrently. Multitasking is to run multiple processes on a computer concurrently. In execution part, multi-threading, the CPU switches between multi-threads in the same process. Multitasking, the CPU switches between multiple processes to complete the execution. Resource sharing. In multi-threading, resources are shared among multiple threads in a processor. In multitasking, resources are shared among multiple processes. Complexity wise, multi-threading is a lightweight and easy to create, and multitasking is a heavyweight and harder to create. And next, life cycle of a thread. A thread that can be any of the 5 following states. First one is newborn state. When a thread object is created, a new thread is born and said to be in newborn state. Second, runnable state. If a thread in this state, it means that the thread is ready for execution and waiting for the availability of the processor. If all the threads in a queue are of same priority, then they are given time slots for execution in round robin fashion. Running state, it means that the processor that has given its time to the thread for execution. A thread keeps running until the following conditions occur. First, thread gives up its control on its own, and it can happen in the following situations. 1. A thread gets suspended using suspend method, which can only be revived with some resume method. 2. A thread is made to sleep for a specified period of time using sleep time method, where time in milliseconds. Third, a thread is made to wait for some event to occur using wait method. In this case, a thread can be scheduled to run again using notify method. A thread is preempted by a higher priority thread and blocked state. If a thread is prevented from entering into a runnable state and subsequently running state, then a thread is said to be in blocked state. Fifth one, dead state. A runnable thread that is entered into the dead or terminated state when it completes its task or otherwise. So this is a diagrammatical representation of a thread. New thread is a newborn thread. Active thread, whether it may be a running or runnable, starts running, yield runnable. and if the thread that goes to suspended sleep wait or move on to the blocked state, that is idle state, not runnable. Again it is a resume notification to running that process. Finally it gets to stop dead, and after once running process is over, formally move on to the dead state. It is a killed thread. And main thread, when we run any Java program, the program begins to execute its code, that is starting from the main method. Therefore the Java virtual machine creates a thread to start executing the code present in main thread. This thread is called a main thread. Although the main thread is automatically created, we cannot control it by updating references to it by calling current thread method. Two important things to know about the main thread are: first one, it is the thread from which other threads will be produced, and main thread must be always the last thread to finish its execution.